right. So, hello. Um, what's going on? How have you been? How are things? I'm awkward. It's been a while, so I really don't. I haven't nailed that intro situation, Um, and it's weird because I'm like talking like at a device, so it's like I try to make it sound real like genuine because it feels genuine inside, but it doesn't really like come out that way. So, but yeah. So I'm just, filming. Figured because my hair is in a decent state. I tried doing my makeup to a darker level, but it just doesn't translate very well like on camera. Like I would it looks like I have almost nothing on, but if you saw me in person, I wouldn't be a clown, but it definitely wouldn't be just you know, like the way that it looks on camera. Like I just put like some light layers. It's crazy. I mean, I really want to look on camera like I have a lot of makeup on, but like it's just rough. I would have to go straight clown in order to get anywhere near that. And like I have like full lashes on. Look at that. Like do I have to be like in your grill? So maybe that's a little bit better. You know, but still, how much shit do you got to put on your face to look like a doll in this place? I want to look like, all done up and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe just the lighting. I'm thinking once I have like a setup that I can work with, I think that might be the key is understanding your setup and your lighting and then doing your makeup on camera. So it just naturally goes into that like I have makeup on look on camera and you just kind of like ignore what you look like in life because I don't think I could ever wear. I would want to, but I really just don't think I could ever wear that much makeup just to go to like Walmart. I mean, I could. I wouldn't feel stupid, but just day to day, I just don't think my mind cannot accept that. So, and I have mistakes in my face, but I'm not tripping. But yeah, so what is up, man? I know that politically things are just hype, but just like politics, just like a lot of things, I don't know if it's like the solar situation that's going on, like some new moon retrograde in whatever planet house. I don't know, but today I just feel strange. And I think what it is like I'm going to talk about things I'm beginning to have a distinct intolerance for, and it's just straight nonsense. But I'll tell you the conclusion. Not the conclusion, but I came to this like I had an epiphany the other day. Hold that thought. Um, I had an epiphany the other day, right? And um, that's coffee, by the way. You'll notice my blend is coffee and like sparkling water. It's a very good blend. You should try that. So, mm, it's so cold. I had it in the freezer and it just like got to that point, almost to like too far. But it's so good. And the coffee is strong. It's a good blend. So, um anyway, like so I've been trying to like think about things like cosmically, like what is it about spacey type things that have bothered me? And it's not really things that have like bothered me. Um I think spacey type things have kind of scared me, right? like Star Wars, Star Trek, spacey things. And I think what it is that the scary part doesn't seem to be space or space life. What it is, it seems like those things portray things in space that would just be wrong, and that's when it starts getting like scary to me, you know? Like I'm just gonna be in space with like this suit or be on this ship and everything is like all good, and it's like I don't think that's the case, you know? I want to say I know that's not the case. And so when I thought about being like in space, you know, and I think about these things pretty, you know, it's pretty normal. And I'm not saying that like braggy. Nothing I'm like ever about is I don't think is braggy, but some shit just is the way that it is, you know. So I think about being in space and I think about like black holes. Space to me seems like it's a lot of work, but it's like cool work, you know, and you don't even know that you're working. Like food is different, um, life is different, and fixing my sock because I have these little ankle socks on, but they're like liners, and they don't want to like stick to my heel. But I don't know. What was I gonna say? Um, so like black holes and things like that. And then I was like thinking about like other dimensions, right? And what it seemed to be is that like when you're in another dimension, it seems like all the dimensions have like their way of doing things. And you can kind of get a gist of this just by like, you know, stuff you see on TV. It seems like everyone has their corner and everyone kind of stays to it. And, you know, if there were some space wars like a whole long time ago, then, you know, that could just be that. And but now it seems like everything is like cool. But what I'm thinking is that here on earth there is a kind of special portal, right? Like life here is different, and with life here you have the opportunity to either be cool or be not cool. You could either step it up and like, you know, level up, like transcend, or you can like level down and descend pretty much straight to hell. And I do think that, you know, the majority of reincarnation happens here. So I think that's why like maybe beings from other places are reluctant to come, because it's such a change. And I think part of what makes this place challenging is that there are things that you find here as far as like human emotion, but the thing is you get both sides of it. Like human beings, all humans, I mean all like, you know, life forms pretty much like have an emotional side. But with human beings, like you have like jealousy and rage and anger, and a lot of stuff comes from people not dealing with their own shit, right? Like you might have a group of monkeys and there's like this one like angry monkey, um and he just like has an attitude problem. Most of the time, you know, monkeys will pretty much like out that bad apple, kind of like in space Space Odyssey 2001. It's a Stanley Kubrick film, and it's like the song in the beginning, it's like dun 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 dun. That's when they like first used that music. And this ape gets killed by like another ape, and like the rest of the apes like haven't seen someone go ape shit, because what happens is like this thing comes down from space and like disrupts the whole like flow of the community, and it like sends this ape into like being jealous or greedy or territorial. It's kind of like that. Like down here, you get cats like that, but usually it's because they develop some sort of thing that makes them feel a certain kind of way. And, you know, everyone feels that way. Everyone feels like insecure. Everyone feels like um, entitlement to a certain degree. Um, let me see. Like anger, like rage, all that. But some cats just let that shit go too far. And then they become like tyrannical. And that's like the challenge of this place. Like, I used to think like if cats would only just be like this, then the world would be like a better place. But now I'm realizing like part of this place is that. But the thing about it is like, how are you gonna handle it? Are you gonna like choose to be an asshole, or are you gonna like choose to try to be cool? Like, I don't think anyone can ever be like totally cool, like 100%. But you are afforded the choice to like be an asshole or not be an asshole. And one thing that I've become extremely fed up with is, it's not fed up like I'm about to like freak out, but it's basically like I have no energy. I've like, it doesn't even, you know what I'm saying? Like I've developed an intolerance for stupid ass people who can't get over themselves. There's just no time or space for it left. You know, I don't think that's really something that you should like make room for. But there's some cats that are off their fucking rockers, you know, and it's time for them to just go wherever you need to go, and get your mind right and come back when you're cool. But if you can't get your mind right, go away and just don't come back. Just don't come back. Because, you know, everyone has their own ish to deal with, and everyone has gone through some stuff. And some people have been going through more shit than others. And usually those cats are the leaders, and so you got to get over it and just deal and be happy when you're like out of it, you know? Um, but you can't spite people who haven't been through shit, because you don't know what their entire story is. And I just try to like concentrate on staying in my lane. Like, you know, I just try to make sure that I'm happy with what I have, and excuse me, not go into like dwelling on what I don't. Um, Not too much. Like sometimes I do, you know, like sometimes like I think about what I want and how things may be if I had it, and but then I have to be really thankful for like the here and now, no matter like what that is, because um you never know really how things could be. But another thing is like, especially when you've experienced it being like harder than what you've had it, even though you know you're not where you need to be or want to be or you think you should be. If you have any kind of like experience, like, you know, um mm, oh, well, that's interesting. Hold on, I'm lost. I don't know. Okay, hold on. Is this really happening? Oh, well, sorry. Okay, that's a little better, right? I didn't even know that was happening. Um, okay, but but yeah. So got off track. Um, Now I'm just playing. Kind of wanna do. See, my hair is like down here, right? Sometimes you just gotta. Uh, I don't care. It's my film. It's my video. I can be vain and do this shit in my video. It's my fucking video. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, but if like you have any kind of inkling that you've had more of a challenge before, whether it's been recent or like a long time ago, um, you can kind of appreciate what you have, you know? Like there's been times where I don't have like half the shit that I have now, like at all. And then I had to be like, all right, cool. Like I know better. And one thing that I don't like doing is sharing my space with people who aren't worthy of seeing the intricate parts of me. You know, like I don't want someone seeing my art who's not deserving, someone who doesn't have their own mind right. You know, that's like a privilege, you know? And if it's something that'll help somebody get up out of themselves, you know, then I'm cool with that. But for somebody to be constantly like emotionally abusing and spiritually attacking and verbally attacking and just fucking with somebody, I don't want you knowing how I do my makeup. I don't want you seeing my clothes. I don't want you seeing my art. I don't want you to hear my voice. I don't want you hearing me sing. I don't want you even seeing me breathe. Like all of that's mine, and to me all of that is sacred. I will share that with somebody who is completely deserving, you know? But if you're just going to choose to be an asshole and like love to hate me, fuck you. You know, just go on somewhere. Go on, sit down somewhere. Go on and do what you need to do somewhere else, but leave me the fuck alone. Like I have that kind of experience in my life like right now. And you know, I feel like God has me in this place to like learn a lot of things, you know, um like heal from some stuff like from childhood and because you know I had a fucked up childhood and fucked up family. And so now that I'm older and I'm seeing all of this and the people who, you know, were a part, like they're still on some bullshit, like it's time for me to heal. They can do whatever they want to do, but me, I need to heal for like the future. And that's what's been going on for like some time. But like in that process, God has taken me certain places to learn certain things and to basically persevere, you know, and to, you know, not, I'm definitely not alone in this. Like it's not like, oh, I'm just off on some like, you know, crusade and I'm just, you know, winning and I'm just awesome. Like it's like not that by far. Like I'm getting to a point where I can function and be awesome and right for somebody else, the people who count in my life, you know, the person who counts in my life. So I'm learning to like not care about opinions, especially coming from cats that don't care about the truth. And you know, they're just on some bullshit and they just choose to stay on some bullshit. I've been on some bullshit before, you know, mostly more in my younger years. Nowadays it comes up usually from not getting my way. But you know, I'm not fundamentally on some bullshit. Like, I don't know. You saw me go into my like deep lean over here. So, but yeah, like fundamentally, I'm not just in the bullshit. But some cats just choose to stay there. They choose to operate from that place, but then they still want to be in your grill. Like they still want to talk badly about you, but not leave you alone. They always have your name coming out of their mouth. And it's like, that's how they operate. It's so stupid. Cause like right now I'm venting and I'm talking about this shit. But fundamentally, unless it's towards like a constructive conversation, you know, something that's healing like this, sometimes you got to talk about it to like get past. But to just sit and talk about somebody, no. and to like still be like chasing their tail when I like don't like them. No, I just get ghost. Like, just I just keep on going. It's not even ghost. It's like I just keep on going. Like, I just get out of Dodge and I don't come back. Like I'll come back like a couple times, like if I feel like there's like some kind of progress to like be made, or I don't know what I'm doing. But if there's like some kind of progress to like be made, um or if there's like some potential, or you think that a person like, you know, has changed, I'll be cool with like giving something like that like another try. But like if a cat has just been getting worse over the years, and when you're going in to like, you know, interact with them, that you are pretty much voluntarily signing up for abuse, no, I just don't even bother. Like, and then people who like ditch people, like I have that happening in my like, I had that happen earlier this year. I was in this place where I needed some help, like real bad. And it was like Mother's Day, and I was told that I was inconveniencing the person and that they had their own life to live and they had things to do. And pretty much I was ditched in like one of the biggest ways, like ever possible, right? And that's cool. Because to me, that was a test from God for them to see, like, for Him to see what they would do in that position. And they failed big time. Like, big time. Like, like just foul. And so, I told the person how I felt. Um, but from here on out, it's like, what use of that? What use is that kind of character to me? Like if that person hasn't changed, hasn't apologized, hasn't tried to, even acknowledge that they did anything wrong, and it's one of the foulest things that I've ever experienced on top of all the other foul things this person has done. They've helped a few times, but that ain't shit in comparison to what they should do and what they did do. It's just no. And then for these type of people to be still behind your back and still thinking that their opinion is valid, there's some sociopathic, narcissistic type bitches out there who are still out there flapping their gums, thinking that anything that they have to say means anything, when they have the shittiest moral compass ever, ever. Who cares what you think, dude? I mean, I just want to put it out there in the atmosphere, like, you bitches are obsolete. All of you, like anyone who operates like that, no one's checking for you. The only people who are checking for you are other people who are just like you. And none of you are really worth your weight in salt. Like, you just are anchors in the world, fake, and you're not adding or contributing anything bad. You're usually very dishonest to everyone who's around you, playing games and playing the victim. And so that's been what I've been thinking about lately. Like, that I try not to dwell on it, even though it is disappointing to see that that's become like a normal thing, especially like, you know, um, in my immediate like experiences right now. Not personally, but like what I've just been taking notice of is like how acceptable this type of behavior has become. Like, it's not acceptable. It's become normalized. And it's just time to divide. It's time to divide, like, morally. Cats who are like about being truthful, minding their own business. Yeah, being truthful and minding your own business. That's a good place to start. If you're not doing those two things, then you're in this special category of person who, it kind of scared me. You're in a special category of person who should be isolated to a group of people who are only just like you. No more fooling people who aren't like that. No more being able to correspond with people who have a stronger moral compass. You should be isolated to only those who play games, lie, and cheat those around them constantly. Um, and all of you can be just in a pot somewhere talking about each other behind each other's backs, sleeping with each other's men, sleeping with each other's women, you know, thinking you're better than each other. But when it comes to the people who are really doing something, who are like trying to be their best even though they're not, like me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not so high and mighty, but I know that I'm not an asshole. And I know that I'm fundamentally honest. And I know that I don't intentionally try to dick people. And I know when I can help somebody, I do. And I know that I don't wish ill intentions on or ill happenings on other people. And I know that I don't just talk about people behind their backs. Like, these things I know. There's cats out there, if you bring up what they do to their face, all of a sudden they don't have anything to say. All of a sudden they get very quiet. And they all seem to have the same formula. You know? It's like the narcissistic shame. It's all about how bad other people are. It's never about anything that they do. They don't remember anything. If you bring up what they did do, all of a sudden they're forgetful or they're very quiet and they don't have anything to say. And then they're passively aggressive, like, oh, well, I don't want to fight. I don't want to live in the past. I don't like confrontation. But yet you piss out hate onto everybody and expect everybody to just absorb it. But then when that person sticks up for themselves, they're in the wrong. All of you bitches can go somewhere and kick rocks into each other's faces, because it's just obvious now. And what I've learned is that I had to call some people on some stuff. Like, sometimes I go back and forth, you know, with not saying anything. And I think sometimes that gets confused with me being like weak or like not standing up for myself. But what it is, it's like that same thing about like I don't want them to see anything personal about me. It's because I don't want to give any energy. You get to a certain point and you're just like, I don't feel like any of my thoughts or my speech going anywhere near this person. But what I've noticed with people who are like this is passive aggressive, coward combo that these people are. You have to pop off on them. You gotta like call them out. Like, you gotta talk to them like pseudo disrespectfully, and you gotta put them to shame, because one thing they don't like is the truth about themselves. And usually that is a pointing directly to something in their life that is shameful, you know? Like, oh, well, you know, why'd you cheat on your husband so much? Why'd you cheat on your last husband? Why'd you leave me in this place like this? And then usually there's like an excuse, oh, I didn't know, but they never stick around long enough or speak long enough to keep it real. But yet they have so many words when they're on the phone with other people, you know, or talking to other people, or when strangers ask, they have so much to say. But they never seem to remember that they step out on their husbands. They never seem to remember that. Or how they step out on their wives. You know? That's weird. Or how they just are so phony and they're nowhere near being the person that they are when they're around people. Or when they lie to get jobs, and they go home and they curse the same people. Like, they have so much energy and so many words in this direction, but it's and against people. Everybody around them is crazy. Everybody besides them. And it's like, okay, but then when you bring up like, you know, this is insane, right? Then it's like silence. It's unacceptable and it's intolerable. That's just how it is. Like, it's, I want to say it's a shame that so much energy has been put on these things. But telling you, after I had that space thought, and this place is just full of it, then it became something that needed to be a topic to be addressed, because this, I feel like Earth is like the accumulation of like human emotion, and you have choices of which road you're going to take, and then you have to, you know, develop ways of interacting with other people, because it's almost impossible to live or survive here alone. So then it was like, okay, let me put more thought towards this. And my videos up until now have pretty much avoided these things, because there was another like, well, let me not be negative, let me not put any energy towards this stupidity. But then it got to a point where I feel like speaking things out loud really does something in the spiritual world. Because in the spirit world, first of all, you can't run from it. But second of all, there aren't any lies. You can't just be up in the spirit world and you be lying. And then third, the spirits are very authentic creatures. Unless they're on like the nether side, like working for basically who's down below and hot as hell, like unless you're like on that side and then you're just being played. If you're on anything above that, then you're pretty much having to come from somewhere that's genuinely authentic. So I have faith in that. I really do I have faith in God. I have faith in the spirit world. And one thing that's for certain, I don't have to do, I would like to see retribution. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Like, I would like to see payback on all these people. I would like to see them experience the same things that they do to other people. I would love to be able to witness that firsthand. And there ain't nothing wrong with that, because in the Bible, like it mentions it. I used to think that was kind of like foul, and I was just wishing like bad, you know, bad wishings on somebody. But what I do know is that the revenge from the Lord is way more than I could ever possibly wish for myself. And usually that's a slow burn, and I get a little like, you know, restless. And so sometimes I want to see things like fast and hard and immediate. But another thing is that you can't run from the spirit world. Karma is real. Like every single thing that these people do is like, it's like guaranteed to come back to them, you know? And that's one thing that kind of helps me like not be so offended or take things, I can't take things personally, because you have to look at it like it's a form of mental illness, and that helps the bigger picture of not taking it personally. But then realizing that they do that shit to everybody, but to really know that they're doing it to themselves, that's just like icing on the cake. I'm sorry, gloves are off. Unless they go to the Lord and ask for some forgiveness, unless they really in their soul like figure it out, like, dang, I've been an asshole, I really need to like clean up my act, it's time for me to like turn over a new leaf. All that's cool. Like almost anything is I think everything is forgivable at that point. But those perpetual assholes, like, I'm getting away with it, I can do whatever I want, I'm indestructible, I'm the self-appointed, self-described holy one. Like, and I'm just gonna fuck with people, and I'm gonna just be a tyrant, and no one can stop me because I'm me, and they're just really getting in the way of people. Yeah, I want the karma for those people to stack up, movement by movement, act by act, word by word, just like a pile of bricks that's gonna just fall like a heap of hot flaming coals into their mouth, because they're just outside looking in. And another thing I notice is that a lot of these cats are the same ones who carry their Bible around, and it's like, wait, hold on, And they'll preach to you about drinking, they'll preach to you about cussing, they'll preach to you about all kinds of judgments that they have in your life, right? I've heard it because I drink the wine. I drink a lot of wine. And it's like, it'll be like the one thing where I cuss. It'll be like the two things that they attack me for. But they have affairs on their husband. So another dick up inside of you that's not your husband is okay in comparison to wine. And then they are just quiet. You fuck around on anyone you're married to? Wait, hold on. Hold on. You call super derogatory names to the people you work with and the kids that you've taught, but yet you pretty much practice Satanism, but and that's just like the mode of operation. You see like the same formula for all of these people, but then they'll watch like these evangelical preachers on TV. You'll see them like quoting Bible verses and watching Osteen or Stanley or something like that, and they're just Satan worshippers, either directly or indirectly. And it's like, it's blasphemous. Like, just if you're gonna go and play in that field over there, then just leave all this behind, because you're making it worse for yourself. Like, if you're gonna be talking about like biblical scriptures and quoting Jesus and talking about him and listening to people who talk about him, but then still go over to this other side like willingly and use that for like your strength and basically for the rules by which you live, you're like compounding what you have coming to you. It's like so much different than like if you just leave the whole thing of like the Lord alone, like it's better just to leave the whole thing alone and just be honest than to try to like use him conveniently. Like I go to church, I talk about biblical things, but then I go and do all of these things like I'm a hoe Monday through Saturday. It's like I'm a hoe Sunday night through Saturday night, but on Sunday morning I'm okay because I go to church. I paint pentagrams on the wall of my bedroom, but I wear a cross. I curse people and hope that they die, literally, but then I watch Joyce Myers, so it's okay. And it's like, it's actually not okay. It's not working for you. It's blasphemous. You gotta like go in all or nothing, And even if you stay and do whatever, and there's cats that are doing shit that they think is so fucked up and it's not, Like, what I'm talking about are people who have real dirty souls. You know what I'm saying? That are okay with people suffering because of them. Like I'm going to intentionally fuck up this housing situation because I own the real estate and I'm okay with these people not having anywhere to live. I'm not going to expand Medicaid in my state because I want to look like a good jolly governor who save some money, but I'm okay with people being sick. Bitch, it's time for you to get sick. You're okay with playing cards and keeping people down? Well, it's time for you to go down. That's the kind of balance I'm talking about. I'm not talking about stealing some shit. I'm not even talking about killing people. I'm talking about cats who really have lived their lives for themselves, no commitment to anybody besides themselves, never seeing anything wrong in themselves. That's what I'm talking about. That's way worse than a killer to me. You can be a killer all day in my eyes. You can go out and steal shit. You could deal those drugs. Shit. I'm talking about the people who would kick a dog in the face. I'm talking about the cats who are calling little kids bitches. I'm talking about the cats who just are inside fucking with people, just intentionally enjoying getting in people's way. I'm not talking about acquisitions. I'm not talking about, when you make a profit and people somewhere along the line have to suffer. I'm not talking about that. I hope it's very clear what I'm talking about, because I know it might sound like I'm being all supportive of the wrong things, but the basic fundamentals for life are like pretty much mind your business and be truthful and avoid fucking with people. Stay in your lane. That's the kind of stuff that just makes me like, dude, you gotta go on somewhere. So, but I hope I made sense, and I hope it didn't seem like I was bitching too much, because some shit that you gotta talk on some shit sometimes. Gotta I gotta let that shit out, because when I speak it, it just seems like it takes on a new form, and I don't just like talk to a whole lot of people. So sometimes you're all I have to talk to. Actually, like almost always. So, and I gotta get it out, because I'm a very talkative person. I'll just sit down and talk all day. All you gotta do is just listen. So, anyway, I'm gonna go. Yeah. Talk to you later.